It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of the last weekend of February, February 25th, 2005, with three movies in particular. Not really a lot of good ones here, but one that was majorly significant in launching the career of one particular filmmaker, and I'm going to get to him first because that movie in particular was the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is, of course, Tyler Perry, making his presence known to the entire world with Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Okay, rule number one, you don't get Kimberly Elise mad at anything, because I saw Almost Christmas, and she is scary with a shotgun. I'll just put it that way. If you've seen Almost Christmas, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. But this is Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and in it she stars as a woman who is thrown out of her house by her husband on their 18th wedding anniversary, and subsequently moves in with her grandmother, who is Medea, played by Tyler Perry. This is the only film written but not directed by Tyler Perry, but this was the movie that essentially launched Tyler Perry into the career that he has now. Say what you will about his movies, a lot of his movies are not that great, but they are tailored to a specific audience, and they will come and see his movies, and you know what? You can't really blame him for the success that he has. I mean, even though he's made a lot of bad movies. He has indeed, but you know what? We're now coming up on 20 years since this movie came out, and he is still considered a reliable filmmaker and one of the most incredible success stories of the last couple decades in Hollywood. I mean, he's one of the reasons why Lionsgate became a bigger studio than just that independent studio that they were before this and Saw came out. I mean, Saw and the Tyler Perry movies were a major significant part of what made Lionsgate the company that it is today. Well, okay, maybe not what they are right now with Borderlands and The Crow having bombed, but you get the idea. They're the studio that are now behind the Hunger Games movies, the franchises, films, John Wick, The Expendables. You know, it started with this was one of the movies that started it off altogether. And truth be told, I have not seen every Tyler Perry movie, and honestly, I have not seen this one in particular. But like I said, these movies aren't really tailored for somebody like me for obvious reasons. But I have seen a couple of Tyler Perry movies, and I've seen some that are actually not that bad, honestly. There was one in particular that I was kind of like, this one's not. This is actually kind of good. It sees something a little bit different from what we're used to seeing from Tyler Perry, and that was For Color Girls, which had that all-star cast in it. And that was one that did not get the best reception overall, but I thought it was all right. There's been a couple of other ones where I've been kind of like, these are fun movies in kind of the so bad it's good type of level. I mean, the one with what's that one for Netflix? The first one he did. I'm trying to remember what it is. A Fall from Grace is what I'm thinking of. You know, that's one of those examples of a so bad it's good movies with the dude sitting in bed in his robe, just like "ashtray, bitch." Like the way he says that line, like it's just one of those moments where it's just like it helps to kind of propel the movie to a level where it is kind of so bad it's good. But like I said, I haven't seen all these movies. I really have not seen this one, so unfortunately, I can't really say too much about it. It was a big hit. It did make more than its budget. I mean, this was only like a $5.5 million budgeted film and made back $50 million. So it was the beginning of good things to come for Tyler Perry. And nobody really knew that this character that he would create, Medea, would become kind of his bread and butter. Like you would see him in all these movies, see that character in all these movies, and of course, a lot of these movies came from off-Broadway plays he did. And yeah, it just kind of goes to show you of the longevity that Tyler Perry has as a successful entertainer in general, not just as a filmmaker, but also a guy who has written these plays that have turned into these movies that have become extremely profitable for him as well as Lionsgate, and essentially has led him to open up his own studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I think it's in Atlanta, Georgia. I could be wrong on that. If it's not there, it's got to be somewhere in Georgia. Now I feel like I need to check. I need to double check. Yeah, it's Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to make sure I got it right. I don't want to give you guys some misinformation out there, but so yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen this movie in particular, but I have seen some other ones that we'll eventually get to down the road here. But this movie just goes to show you the success that Tyler Perry has had as a filmmaker. Like, regardless of how you feel about his movies, the guy has had a 20-year career, and he's been able to make these movies quick and easy, and they've become most of them have become mainly instantly profitable, and he's been able to have the success that he's had today. So you got to give him credit for credit was due. So So anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, the reunion of Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson after the success with Scream. A movie that was not quite as successful as that, Cursed. Yeah, you can kind of see where the problem comes into play with this movie. Um, let's talk about the history behind this, because this has one of those notorious production histories. This was a movie that was originally planned for 2003, and it took over 2 more years after it was originally planned because the producers, Harvey and Bob Weinstein, kept asking for reshoots and to change the plot, and re-edited the movie down to a PG-13 than the original intended R rating, and fired veteran makeup artist Rick Baker and replaced the werewolves with CG. And even actually had rumored at one point to hire Eric Goldberg from Disney to do an animated opening for the film. That sentence alone is everything that's wrong with this movie. I mean, first of all, PG-13 horror movies are almost never that good. You get those exceptions here and there, especially for a werewolf movie. And you don't fire a guy like Rick Baker to do who's been behind some of the greatest makeup and special effects in Hollywood history. I mean, he's the guy that was behind the greatest werewolf transformation in American Werewolf in London. This is the exact same thing that happened with An American Werewolf in Paris, because they replaced the werewolves with really bad CGI. And somehow it looks even worse in this movie. The film, I mean, basically you see the plot right there. You've got Christina Ricci and Jesse Eisenberg as two orphan siblings attacked by a werewolf loose in Los Angeles. That's literally it. It's literally every single werewolf movie you have seen, except not as scary, not terrifying at all, because you can't buy these creatures because they look so fucking fake. I mean, my God, you even see it in the trailer. Those shots of CG, that clear CG, just abysmal to watch. And I've seen these actors in much better movies than this. I mean, Christina Ricci's been in a lot of great stuff we've talked about. Jesse Eisenberg, going to be a lot of great stuff we'll eventually get to. Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek has been a good actor in a lot of stuff. Judy Greer, even Scott Baio, Mario Ventimiglia, Shannon Elizabeth, Maya. Like, a lot of good, talented people. And they're wasted in this movie that was heavily chopped down, and the end result is what you get, a steaming pile of garbage that is clearly devoid of what Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson probably were wanting with this particular film. And there has been a campaign to get the Craven version out there, and you know what? He deserves to have it out there. I mean, they shouldn't have put a Scream Factory release out there until Wes Craven had an opportunity to do his version of the movie. And I don't know if that cut's ever been released. And unfortunately, now that's not possible because Wes Craven is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. I wish you made a better movie than this. But you did make a better movie in 2005, one that we will get to in just a little bit. But yeah, I feel like a better version of this movie probably would be much better to what they were trying to accomplish here. And it just doesn't work. It's just a terrible movie, terrible effects, a waste of really good talent, just a bad movie, just a really, really bad movie. And yeah, I can't even debate on whether or not this movie is worse than the next movie we have, but kind of goes in between, kind of about the same thing. Except while that's a bad horror movie, this is a bad comedy. Tommy Lee Jones starring in Man of the House. And this is one of the many, many problems with this movie. A movie that I shamefully admitted I went to go see back in the day in theaters, and I've been regretting that day ever since, because let me tell you something. I thought it was just mediocre at the time. I've seen it years later. It has definitely gotten a lot worse than you remember it. So, Tommy Lee Jones, Academy Award winner Tommy Lee Jones, by the way, is Roland Sharp, a lonesome Texas Ranger who goes undercover as an assistant coach to protect a group of college cheerleaders who have witnessed a murder. Most of the film was shot in Austin, Texas. I'm reading off the Wikipedia page. Yeah, group of college cheerleaders. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the ages of the five college cheerleaders in there. Christina Milian was, 24 when this came out. She was born in 1981, so okay, you're kind of pushing it a little bit here, but I guess that can work out. I guess that works out. Monica Keena, who we know as Rachel from Undeclared and on Entourage. She was also in Freddy vs. Jason. She was 26 when this came out. So again, kind of a little bit over the age that you would expect for a movie like this, where the 5 teenagers are supposed to play are actually grown women at this point. I mean, 21 is an adult pretty much. And I'm just kind of killing time here because my page right here that I'm looking at here is freezing. So how was your weekend going so far? My week has been going great so far. If you want to go check out the latest Movie Stop episode to pass the time, I'll go ahead and leave a link to it in the corner, and the page is back up. Okay, so Christina Milian was 24, Monica Keena was 26. Okay, let's go to Kelly Garner. Yeah, she was born in 1984, so 22. I get 22. Okay, she's actually the youngest of the group here. Vanessa Folito, born in 1977. So that means that she is 28 years old when this movie came out. And Paula Garces, guess how old she was? She was 31. 31 years old when this movie came out. And yeah, you can make the argument that this was filmed years beforehand, but even still, these people are way too old to be in fucking college. And this movie, that trailer alone just gives you an idea that they do not give a shit whatsoever about what you think about here. It's just like that trailer has everything that's wrong with comedy trailers back then. Of like, if you didn't figure out what this movie was going to be before that came out, you're an idiot. And guess what? I was one of those idiots, because like I said, I saw it opening weekend. Hey, I was still in that less than a year pattern where I had gone to see movies by myself, and I got a chance to choose whatever I want to. So what did I pick? I picked the Tommy Lee Jones movie because I like the cheerleaders in there. What do you want? I was 16 at the time, but yeah, the movie is just bad. It's another bad movie from Stephen Herek, who, starting with his last movie he did, which I can't remember now, Life or Something Like It, and Rockstar and Holy Man. Yeah, he's been on this downward spiral for a while now, and there's just abandon all hope, ye who enter here with a movie like this. Like Tommy Lee Jones, I expect a lot better from. Cedric the Entertainer, not so much. I mean, this is just his bread and butter right now, to be in these terrible movies. Anne Archer, you expect a lot better from, but then again, she was in some bad stuff as well. Like, the film is just terrible. It's a really, really bad movie. The jokes aren't funny. This is like a bad ABC sitcom you would have seen on TGIF back in the day. Like, just nothing of value comes out of this movie whatsoever. It's a lazy movie, a terrible film, just an unbelievable mess of a film. Just avoid it like the plague. Like, there's a reason why this was dumped in the last week of February, because January and February back then always meant that 9 times out of 10 you were going to get some pure grade A garbage. Sure enough, here you go. Here's another one here. So yeah, not much more to say about that one except avoid Man of the House like the plague. If you want to watch a movie called Man of the House, go watch the one with Jonathan Taylor Thomas and Chevy Chase, which is better, but not by that much. But you'll still have more fun than you will with this piece of garbage. Also, how dare you make Arlie Ermey say lines like, "I know the hottie rating of every criminal in the world." Well, it's just like, get out of here with that. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and now we're finally getting to the movies that the studios are proud of. We're getting to the movies of the first weekend of March next time around, with 3 movies to look at, including Vin Diesel in The Pacifier, which could be a bad movie, but could be one of those little surprises that you might not expect. Prepare to be surprised at what I have to say about it, because yeah, you might be surprised what I have to say about it. Also, we might be surprised at what I have to say about Be Cool, with John Travolta returning as Chili Palmer in the sequel to Get Shorty, which is a PG-13 rated sequel to an R-rated movie, but is this one of the few times when it actually works out to the film's favor? You have to tune in to find out. We'll also take a look at Adrian Brody and Keira Knightley in The Jacket. So we've got those 3 films to look at. We will take a look at them all in the next episode, so be on the lookout for that tomorrow. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So, with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.